And what's up, everybody? It's Joey Bags here. So, let's move this. There we go. So, what's up, everybody? It's Joey Bags here. I'm gonna bring you a video today, just because yesterday I tried to live stream, but it seems I'm having some PC problems. Um, I'm now starting to think it may not be an issue with AMD's drivers with Smart. I actually had that whole just random shutdown happen while I was actually playing Assetto Corsa last night. So I'm thinking it may be an issue with heat in this particular room. This office is a little, can be, it's rather small. It can get hot quite quickly in here, especially when the PC is going at full tilt. I also had my power supply. I had it inverted with the bottom fan, or should I say the fan from it, drawing in from the bottom. But I don't have a very large gap between the bottom of my PC and the shelf that it's on. So I think that was adding into the issues of not being able to inhale enough air to cool down, or at least keep the power supply rather cool. So just think it was a bunch of things that are, adding up to maybe I'm having slight temp issues with the power supply, and that's what was causing it. So I went ahead, I did some testing. Well, I changed some things around, I did some testing. So until the second PC is ready, which now it's kind of lit that fire under me to order the new case so I can have my secondary PC to do streaming with, it's going to be videos for right now. And honestly, I don't really want to do videos, but it is what it is. So what I wanted to get across in yesterday's video was the Moza R5. So we know I'm doing the video. I'm gonna go ahead, and that video's purpose is to compare and contrast pretty much the main players in the entry level 5 Newton meter or thereabouts direct drive space. In that space, you've got Fanatec, Moza, Camus, and PXN. There's a few other companies that are out there, but they're not operating in the 5 Newton meter space. You can look at Turtle Beach. They're, I believe, 10. Well, they're rating it at 7.5, but the reviews for it haven't been all that great. So I'm really not going to go ahead and put any money into that base. The Logitech, that's like 10 to 12 Newton meters. That's not really in there. Sim Magic has their Alpha line. I'm not really. They have a 10 Newton meter one, but that's really not in this level. It's $500, but that's just for the base. Then you're looking at Simicube with the theirs. I don't think they have anything that's really that inexpensive. Asetek has La Prima, which that also isn't really that inexpensive. So when you're actually looking at it, Fanatec, Moza, PXN, Camus, those in the 5 Newton meter, that's what we've got. Camus has, should I say, Moza has 2 entries into that entry level with the R3 at 3.5 Newton meters, but that still hasn't been released. There's still no news on that one. So, and I also don't have it. I'm really not going to go ahead too much into it, but I have used it, and it is actually a pretty good base for being entry level and being for Xbox compatibility. Um, we could also think if you wanted to go like secondhand market, you can always include some of the belt driven Fanatec Club Sport Lights or Club Sport Elites. Those were gear driven. I believe those were like 5+ Newton meters. But also, I don't have them. I don't foresee myself buying one. And I don't know if a wheelbase is something that I would recommend buying secondhand. But the big players, as I said, Fanatec being also the most expensive at $700. Then you're looking at Moza being about $450 for their R5 bundle. Then you've got PXN at about $550 for their 6 Newton meter bundle, but that one is console compatible with Xbox and PlayStation, and really not much of a fuss. There are some caveats with the PlayStation 5 compatibility. You can look at some of my older videos. I have that all well detailed there. And then rounding out the bottom is Camus at $250, which quite honestly, if you're PC only, that's probably my push. That if you're PC only and you want to try out sim racing, or you're already into sim racing and you want to upgrade it, you want a direct drive, maybe you're happy with your pedals, or maybe you've already got some of the ancillaries already in place. You got the accessories, maybe you have your shifter you like, and maybe you have a set of pedals you like. Maybe you've got Thrustmaster to TLCMs, load cell pedals. Maybe you have those and you like it, but you want to upgrade from maybe your Thrustmaster wheel. A Camus C5 at $250 is an awesome upgrade. Same deal if you happen to be in the Logitech space and maybe you went ahead and you bought Logitech's load cell pedals that you paired with your G29. Because quite honestly, the load cell brake pedal is what's going to give you the most performance. That's where you're going to actually see your times drop, is with a load cell brake pedal. So maybe you did that upgrade, but now you're like, you know what? I kind of want to upgrade the wheel. Quite honestly, the Camus C5 is a really good upgrade. But if you decided maybe you don't want to go the Camus route and you just want to get a nice bundle, the R5 is an extremely, extremely attractive bundle at I think it's now $459 or $450. And you can find it on quite a few reseller websites. Shout out to Rick Motec, since they're local to me, rickmotec.com. They're a Moza reseller, and Amazon. I actually got mine on Amazon. I paid a little bit more for mine on Amazon, but their prices have dropped down to reasonable levels, and you've always got Prime shipping and Amazon's wonderful return policy. So if it's something that you get and perhaps you don't like it, you can always send it back. But I really think if you're upgrading from the entry level or from gear driven setups and you want to move into something a little bit more sturdy, a lot more quieter, then perhaps the Moza R5 is a base you want to look for. Or should I say the R5 bundle is a bundle you want to look at. Why? Its price is very attractive at $450, like I said. It has a robust ecosystem. That bundle comes with SRP light pedals. They are Hall effect sensor pedals. You are able to get a brake performance upgrade kit, which quite honestly I feel is a mandatory, just because that brake pedal as is rather light. That brake performance kit does help tremendously, and the fact that you can always go in and swap springs and elastomers to adjust it to your liking is a huge bonus. Now, it will never replace a load cell and the type of modularity that you can get with a load cell brake pedal. You'll never get that fine of a detail with a Hall effect sensor pedal. But adding the resistance from the brake performance kit will help you build muscle memory, which will help in a way. It's, not exact. It's not a load cell. It's no way can compare to a load cell and the kind of threshold braking that you can achieve with a load cell. But at least with that pedal resistance, it allows you to build muscle memory. And at that point, you're not going with, I need to, keep my foot in this kind of position, to get the braking that I want. No, now you're like, okay, I'll press down this hard. Similarly, how you would press with a load cell, I'm going to press down this hard, and pressing down this hard gives me this angle in which I need for the Hall effect to, detect how much pedal press I want, and it gets you where you're at. At least that way, using that pressure with those upgraded springs and elastomers, help you build that muscle memory. It's nowhere close to being as good as a load cell, but for $50, it helps. And if you don't want to get Moses, 3D Wrap also makes a few accessories for their SRP light pedals, which will be provided to the channel. I've set up with 3D Wrap, just waiting for the packages to be delivered, so that way we can get those set up on the SRP light pedals I have, and I can always test those out for you. Right now, I'm doing the tests on all of the wheelbases using my Fanatec load cell pedal. So at least that way I have one consistent pedal across all of the different wheelbases. And at that point I can tell you, hey, you know what? This is really good. You know, this is what you should look for. Um, that consistency with the brake pedal helps, so that way I can concentrate on, you know, what the direct drives are giving me. Because quite honestly, the PXN comes with Hall effect sensor pedals. The Fanatec comes with Hall effect sensor pedals. I just happen to have the load cell upgrade on mine. The Moza comes with Hall effect sensor pedals. So, and the Camus C5, that pedal setup, which I do have coming from Camus, huge shout out to Camus for providing those pedals, just waiting for them to get dropped off. That also comes with a Hall effect pedal. So essentially, all of your entry level 5 Newton meter direct drive wheelbases, those bundles come with Hall effect sensor pedals. And quite honestly, the magnetic Hall effect sensor is going to be the same, you know, different manufacturers, but quite honestly, they're really the same. So you're going to get a very, very similar brake pedal feel across them. Now, the awesome part is that PXN includes a brake performance kit, a little dampener with a spring and elastomer that you can change out to adjust the firmness of that brake pedal. That comes included with their bundle. So that's not something you have to buy extra like Moza. Moza, you have to buy extra. And as I said, you can buy it directly from them, or you can buy theirs, or there's others that are available from 3D Wrap. And I believe there's some others. The same with Fanatec. Fanatec, I believe they do have a brake performance kit for their Hall effect brakes pedal, but there are also others that you can get, like 3D Wrap and others, that you can go in and start changing out elastomers and springs and whatnot and change the feel of that brake pedal. So you can kind of get a quasi-ish, you know, you're now going with, you know, how much pressure am I putting down, or how hard am I hitting this brake pedal to get that angle, instead of, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm holding my foot at this particular angle because this is the kind of braking I'm getting from that. With that brake performance kit, that adds that resistance that you're looking for. So at that point, you can kind of get a consistent feel and, you know, build that muscle memory. You know what? While we're doing this, I'm going to play a replay of a race I had earlier today, which was actually rather enjoyable, and you'll see why. Let's switch over to this camera view. Let's see. There we go. So this is a race. They kind of caught me sleeping a little bit at the beginning, but you'll quickly see exactly why. After I was able to catch up to these guys, I quickly was able to cut through the pack rather quickly, made good enough time that I was actually able to lap them and cut through them again for a second time. So that was kind of awesome. So we'll just play this in the background. So like I was saying, the Moza R5 is a really, really, really good bass. I really do enjoy it. The two things that I say are kind of like a must get if you were to go and purchase the Moza R5 is the brake performance kit. That's a must. Quite honestly, I feel like that's not even as soon as you order it, wherever you're ordering it from, just throw that right into it. Yeah, it's 40 to $50, but trust me, it's a very, very good purchase. Secondly, so the Moza R5 bundle comes with a D-shaped wheel, their ES wheel, which is D-shaped. Now, the reason, I wonder if you're getting any of the sounds from, no, you're not. Let's see if we can get this going here. Oh, you know what? Let's pause this for a moment. I'll be right back. And there we go. I'm back. I just had changed some settings, and I guess volume wasn't working right. So now instead of hearing me, you should hear, you know, my Miata. Anyway, like I was saying. So besides that, what I really feel is okay. So no, I'm sorry. I lost myself. Oh, you're gonna see me now starting to cut through them. So the R5 bundle comes with the ES wheel, which is a D-shaped wheel. The awesome part was Moza, in a extremely good move, besides all the other wheels that they offer, because they use a NRG style quick release. There is a proper name for that one, but it escapes me, so I'm just gonna go with NRG style. You can see me cutting through these guys. They made a formula style rim, which you see here in front of you, that simply goes on by unbolting these 6 screws right here that go through the button box and the quick release. Take off these 6 screws, pull off the D-shaped wheel, then pop this formula wheel right into place, tighten up these 6 bolts again, and Bob's your uncle, you now have a formula style wheel on your R5, and all for about $40 to $50. So this is another item that I feel is kind of like if you're okay with the D-shaped wheel, great, fine, go ahead, stick with that one. If you don't want to kick out extra money for a formula style wheel, kind of like the KS, which I do have just above me, or the FSR wheel or the GS wheel, if you don't want to pay the few $100s those are, the $280 that the KS wheel is, for $50 and a few minutes of just undoing 6 bolts, you can have a formula style wheel. And quite honestly, it's easy enough that you could just go back and forth between the 2 different ones depending on the style of racing you were doing. Totally possible. And if you got like an electric screwdriver, a low torque electric screwdriver with the correct hex bolt here, it would take you maybe a minute or 2 to just undo these bolts, switch it over, and redo them again using electric screwdriver or a little electric driver. Super quick, super easy. But for $40 to $50, I think this is one of those, another must buy. So if you're looking at the Moza R5 bundle, you're getting $450. You're getting the wheelbase, the D-shaped ES wheel. You're getting the SRP light pedals, which is only 2 pedals, accelerator and brake, and I believe it comes with a desk clamp. $450, not bad. The 5 newton meters of rated torque of this base is actually quite nice. So with this formula style wheel, it makes this wheel very light and compact. In doing that, because it reduces the weight of the wheel and its overall size, well, I think it's about as wide as the D-shaped wheel, but mainly its lightness, it does increase the feel of the force feedback. So I've said this for a while now, since I've been using the R5. The R5, especially with this ES wheels torque feeling, it feels very sharp when you're going around certain corners and you hit rumble strips. You're going to feel it. I will give this, the Moza software, the Pit House software is excellent compared to PXN's software, which PXN software is trash comparatively. Great product, but the software's, it's a bear to work with. The same difference with Camus. Camus, great, amazing wheelbase. Like, I cannot talk enough about how great the Camus C5 is. But damn, that software is just horrible. It's actually better than PXN's, but still, it's not all that great. So the software, the adjustments that you get with it, make this a really nice wheelbase. I know people have had overheating issues. In the months that I've had this and in the times that I've used it, I've never had it get warmer than I could easily rest my hand right on top of it and not be concerned at all. And when I'm in the chair, when I'm in the rig, this is 2 to 3 hour stints at a time almost every day. So I'm not putting in as much work as, like, let's say maybe an esports, sim racer, or maybe some of the other sim tubers that stream for hours on end, or maybe make longer videos, but I do put enough time on here that I haven't had overheating being an issue at all with this base. But with this wheel, I do feel that the force feedback is very pronounced. It's very sharp. As you can see, it's lap 7 and I'm coming up on them again to lap them. So I feel that the force feedback is really good, very pronounced, and very sharp. Now, I believe that's all because of the size of the rim, the size of this wheel, and its weight doesn't add to natural dampening of, say, some heavier wheels. So, okay, I've got this 12-inch PXN wheel here, which quite honestly weighs almost twice as much as this wheel does. Now, if I put that wheel on here, I'm going to feel a noticeable dulling of the force feedback. It's not going to be as sharp, but that's only because it's a much larger, heavier wheel. Larger, heavier wheels add natural dampening to force feedback. So unless you have it turned up all the way, it's not going to feel as sharp. So with this smaller wheel, the force feedback is, honestly, I could even say it at, depending on what title I'm racing, could actually be too much and I have to turn it down a bit. Put on a heavier wheel and that's really not an issue. Like the KS wheel isn't much heavier, but it is quite a bit heavier. The force feedback is still good, but it's not as punchy and sharp as I feel that this particular rim is. So if you kind of want like that real sharp and punchy force feedback, I really like this rim for that. The KS wheel is awesome, pops right on because of the quick release, and works amazing. Unfortunately, I don't have a GSR or FSR wheel or any of the larger CS wheels. I think it's a CS wheel. They have a bigger one. I don't have any of the other wheels. I've only got this one and the KS, and quite honestly, those are really the only two wheels that I would be happy with. Honestly, with this one ES wheel and just having the D-shaped portion, they actually do make a larger D-shaped portion that you can get. So if you don't want the 11, I believe they have a 12-inch version. And this, I would honestly be happy with just this one wheel. Now, if you want to get fancy with extra knobs and buttons and screens, then yeah, you can go spend a few $100, $500 to $600 on some of the other wheels that Moza has, but it's not a necessity. The awesome part is that Moza does give you that option by having those, first party wheels available to you. Unlike PXN, I will give, this is a con for PXN, pro for Moza, con for PXN. PXN only has two wheels. They have the D-shaped wheel that comes with the light 6Nm base, and then they have the 12-inch version that you have to buy separately if you get the DDS 10Nm base. Those are the only two, wheel options. The good part is that it does use a quick release. It does use the NRG style quick release. So with the right cabling and the right hookups, I can use Moza wheels. The KS wheel I can use on there. The FSR wheel, I believe, the one with the screen, I can use that one on there using Moza's universal hub, which just for make sure I don't ruin this. I do have it right here. I do have Moza's universal hub. So with this hub, I can use those wheels on different wheelbases that happen to use the NRG style quick release. My two PXN wheels that I have do have USB-C ports on them, which allow me to connect them directly to the PC and NRG style quick releases, so I can use my two PXN wheels, which I'll do another video on using them. I pop them on here, plug the wheel directly into my PC so I can map my buttons, get lights and all this other stuff working on the button box. But the base handles all the force feedback and it works beautifully. Those wheels are a little bit heavier, so the force feedback doesn't feel as punchy, but that's okay. This has so many pros. Its price to performance, bundle availability, right now, I think Moza's going through a similar issue that uh, Fanatec was going through, where they're having some issues with shipping. I believe with sourcing hardware um, directly from them. So probably going with a third party that has it in stock may actually be a better bet. And customer service issues, same issues that Fanatec is going through right now. So, you know, if you're on PC only, like if you're strictly on PC and you want a nice, good quality bundle that's not going to break the bank, the Moza R5 is a great option. And when you add in those extras like the brake performance kit, whether you get the one from Moza or if you got the one from, like, let's say 3D Wrap, which they have one, and I'll be showing on the channel soon. The formula style rim, if you don't want to use the D-shaped wheel, those two little options, quite honestly, yes, it does take the price up a little bit to like maybe $550 or so, but it's worth it and makes this a really nice beginner bundle. Honestly, if you're not super serious into sim racing, but you do like using quality equipment and you like the quietness, because we all know direct drives are pretty much silent compared to the chatterboxes that the G920, G29s are. Pretty much all the gear driven bases from like Logitech and Thrustmaster, they're rather loud and noisy. Comparative to a direct drives are silent. So if you look at the price of some of those, like a G29 bundle, you're still looking at like mid 200s, on like Amazon. You can maybe get that secondhand, which honestly, that I would probably recommend getting secondhand, or you can actually get a refurbished from Logitech for like $200. But I mean, okay, spend $200 on something that, quite honestly, you're probably going to want to change out within a few months, even if you take it, not super seriously. But if you want to go prosumer route, once you start off, you're like, oh, okay, I like this. You're going to instantly want direct drive. And if, you're looking at your budget and you're honest with yourself and like, okay, I'm going to get into it this deeply, but I'm not going to get into it this deeply where I'm going to spend, tens of thousands of dollars on a setup. Quite honestly, I think for about $550, a Moza R5 setup with those two upgrades, with the brake performance kit and this wheel rim, is a nice all-arounder that you can probably keep on here and easily grow with. Upgrade I would tell you to do is get a load cell pedal, either Moza's, if you'd like to stay within the ecosystem and plug everything into the base, or any other brand of load cell pedal if you're on PC, and you're good to go. Now, when the R3 is concerned, since it's Xbox compatible, at that point you have to use Moza ecosystem items on the Xbox. You're also able to use this with a Resolution 2 on a PlayStation and an Xbox. If you dig into the past videos, I have videos of this exact unit running on both my PlayStation and my Xbox. So go back and watch those videos if you have any questions with if there's anything that comes up. If you watch them and you have questions that come up, go ahead, put them in the comment section of either this video or those videos, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Everybody knows I like to answer questions, as soon as I see them. So you've got options. I mean, there's a lot of pros. Cons, yes, it may not have the name like Fanatec. It may not have a top tier brand name like Asetek or Simicube or SimMatch. You know what? That is true. But Moza has done very well in it for itself for the maybe 3 to 4 years that it has been producing sim racing equipment, and they've been producing quality sim racing equipment, from the R5, the R9, the R12, the R16, and the R21, those bases. You're going to find so many reviews where it's positive reviews, but you're also going to find so many, posts online where people are actually happy with their product. You'll probably find, issues, because you'll always come up across, people that maybe not either had an issue that is sometimes user, you know, it's it's a user error, or sometimes you may get a manufacturing defect, and those that minority seems to be very vocal. That's going to be a very vocal minority. But the very happy majority, you will find a lot of good praise for this setup, and quite honestly, I love. So what I'm going to do in this video, just to make it super quick, I want to show you how awesome it is when you're able to switch out your wheel to something. All right. There we go. I was wondering where we were going to get out of that. All right, so let's minimize this. Let's open up some iRacing, and we're going to get into some iRacing here. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to switch out this ES wheel. Actually, I'll do that right now while I get iRacing loaded up. I'm going to show you how easy it is using this wonderful, wonderful. Oof, it's getting hot in here. I can see why my PC was having issues. So while that loads up, all you've got to do is out. Quick release is super awesome. And what I'm going to show you here is my PXN wheel. Now, when I set up my custom Acelith wheel, this wheel, I ended up taking the button box off of it, using it with my Acelith Designs Ace 1 V2. And I had this wheel extra, just sitting here. It's a 12-inch wheel. Kind of, it's actually a really nice wheel. Heavy. Honestly, it feels quality. But I was like, what am I going to do with this wheel? So what I did was I hit up Amazon and I ordered myself a legit NRG quick release and bolted it right on here, because I believe it's a 62 to 70 millimeter bolt pattern, something like that. I could be a little bit off. So all I've got to do now is pull in the quick release, pop it onto the hub, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. Now, here, what I'm going to tell you is in iRacing, let's get this set up on the screen so that way you guys can take a look at it. Oh no. Let's see. Let's make this easier for everybody. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So here we are in iRacing. So just to make it easy, because I already have my shifter set up. Oh, let me set this in sequential mode real quick. There we go. So I do have my PXN A7 shifter, which was provided to me from PXN. Huge shout out to PXN. They make a sequential upgrade kit for this, so it turns it to a sequential shifter, similarly to how Thrustmaster has their TH8A shifter, and you can do a few changes to it and it turns to sequential. So with that here, let's get into, well, you know what? Let's go into the options real quick. So here you can see my wheel. I'm turning the wheel. Everything is good. Oh, there's the handbrake. Let me. Oh, it's not. Did I not plug in my handbrake? No, I did plug in my handbrake. I got to find out what's the deal there. So let's see. All right. So I got, oh, my load cell brake. I wonder what's up with, you know what? Let me plug it back in. See if, there we go. So handbrake is going good now. And my shifter. You can hear it. You really can't see it. So there we go. So let's get out of here. Let's get into the sim. And here we are in the Miata, because I love Miatas. Put it into first gear. And let's drive. So as you see, I have absolutely no other buttons here. So if you have a button box or a controller or something set up on your sim rig, this is something that's super easy that you can go ahead and do using an NRG style quick release. As you see, it works the same. Force feedback is good. It's not as good as with the ES wheel, but that's only because the ES wheel is much smaller and doesn't have the same kind of size and mass as this one does. So because of the size and mass of this wheel, it will dampen the force feedback just a bit. But I'm still getting great force feedback. If I go over these rumble strips, I feel it. I'm, as you can see, I'm getting road feel from it. It's not as good as with the smaller wheel, but that's only because it's the smaller wheel. Naturally, when you get larger, heavier wheels, you introduce natural dampening. There's no going around it. That's just a thing. When you have a 8 to 10 Newton meter wheelbase, that's really not a thing. When you've got over 10 Newton meters, in your wheelbase, that's really not a thing at all. It's not even a thought. It's an afterthought. But it is something to consider if you are in the 5 Newton meter range. With the PXN, I do notice it to be similar to this. If I were to use the ES wheel on that base, it feels actually a little bit more, because that's 6 Newton meters. It feels a little punchier, a little sharper when I'm using that smaller, lighter wheel. That ES wheel that I have, though, is lighter than the stock PXN V12 Lights D-shaped wheel. It's much lighter than the ES wheel, is much lighter than that one, as is from jump. So, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but I do notice the difference. But as you can see here, it just works. And if you're into drifting, drifters like having round wheels, so when it spins, you can grab it from wherever it is. Sometimes you just kind of want a larger wheel. Some people don't like smaller wheels, and it's a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the awesome part is having a NRG style quick release, which just makes it so much easier. And if you happen to have a wheel that has a button box that you can connect directly to a PC, it makes it even better. Oh, that was my mistake here. Oh. My mistake. But if you're able to connect your button box from your wheel directly to your PC, then you're good to go. Force feedback is handled by the wheelbase, so you don't ever have to worry. You don't have to worry about that, unless you're a Fanatec, and then Fanatec locks out their force feedback if you're not using one of their wheels and hubs. There are ways around that. SRM Sim Race Machine, shout out to them. They make these awesome adapters. Whether it's this little tiny adapter, which is like the size of a coin that you just pop right in to the QR, into the QR1, or even the QR2, you just pop it right in and it emulates having a Fanatec wheel on there. And let's say you have a different manufacturer's wheel that you're able to connect to your PC via cable somehow, and a QR1 bolted to it, you can use it on your Fanatec base, with the correct equipment. So that's kind of awesome that you have that option, so shout out to Sim Race Machine for giving us that option. But it'd be nice if a lot more companies included the NRG style quick release, because I really think it seems to be one of the more popular ones. Yeah, I'm not doing very well here. I can't seem to beat my ghost from the other day. But as you see, the larger wheel, heavier wheel, if you wanted to drive with one hand, it's an option. Sometimes with some of the smaller, lighter Formula wheels. Because they're smaller and lighter, that force feedback is like, can get rough. So you'll put two hands on here, but as you can see here, I'm just going along with one hand, and I've got one hand on my shifter like I was driving my real manual car, and one hand on the wheel, which I know is not optimal. It should be 10 and 2, and I shouldn't rest my hand on my shifter and all this other stuff, but I'm not gonna listen right now. I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. Let you listen to that glorious little Miata motor screaming along here. But yeah, this is the Moza R5. The wheelbase that I feel is probably the biggest thorn in Fanatec's side right now. While they do offer some other bases like the R9 and the R12, which, you know, depending on your budget and what you're trying to achieve, could be better buys for you. But if you are just getting into sim racing or upgrading from some equipment that, you know, is maybe a little bit lower tier entry level, I think this is a really good option to look at for its price to performance. But of course, as always, do your own due diligence, look online, read and watch as many reviews as possible, so that way you can get a total picture from a variety of different sources. You don't want to just go on one person's opinion on something. There may be things that I may have missed that someone else may have not. I know there's talk of slew rate when it comes to direct drive bases, and that's really the speed in which your wheel can transition from left to right quickly. To what I understand right now, Fanatec is I believe Simicube is the king of slew rate. They actually include the rating on theirs. So Simicube, I believe, is up there. Asetek, I believe, is up there. I want to say Sim Magic is also up there with it. They include it. They let you know what the slew rate is. I want to say that now Fanatec, with their Club Sport DD Pluses, their upgraded new bases, they're including that rating, and it's actually, you know, quite quick. That's not something that you're really gonna probably find out from Moza, and it's probably not a rating that's gonna be included with their literature. But I can tell you, you know, from my first-hand experience, it's not bad. And quite honestly, I think for its price tag, it's a solid contender. Definitely cheaper than Fanatec. Are there better manufacturers? Yes, there are, but you're going to pay for that. So if you're on a budget, this is one that you want to look at. If you're PC only, definitely one that you should keep within your top 5, depending on what your budget is. Now, if you're one of those guys that's buy once, cry once, I only want the hot nastiness, you're probably not looking at the R5. You're probably looking at the R21, or you're probably looking at like an Asetek or a Simicube or a high-end oh, I was a little bit too wide on that. You know, so you're definitely probably looking at one or more of the high-end wheelbases. But if you're not, the R5 is a good option. And with that, I'm going to leave you on today's video. I didn't want it to go actually even as far as it did, but my verbal diarrhea got the best of me, and I just, you know, put it all out there. So as always, you guys are amazing, all of you. We are now at 400 and I think 23 subs. I want to say 400. I think we're in like 420. Maybe it's more. I don't know. I've got to take a look. But you guys are amazing. For the thousands and thousands of you and the millions at home watching my videos, thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate you taking your time to sit with me and listen and watch, you know, the info that I have for you. You know, my main purpose with this channel is to educate as much as possible. I love learning. Why am I so wide? Whew. Apparently not learning how to drive. But my whole purpose is to learn and grow, especially in the sim racing space. So I have to thank all of you for taking the time and, you know, coming on this journey with me. So thank you. You are all amazing. As always, don't forget, smash that like button. Just smash it. Smash it like you're smashing your load cell brake pedal. Just smash that like button. Smash that sub button, please. You know, doing those two things help me shoot right up to the top of the algorithm. They help me get distributed out to other people that may want to watch this content as well and don't know I exist. So doing those two things are a huge help to me and to the channel, and they're absolutely zero cost things that you can do. You know, I do have a Patreon, which I don't really advertise much. But subbing and liking are just two things that would mean the world to me. The more eyes I get on my videos, the more people that want me to try out their stuff, which then allows me to bring you that unbiased information that I love to bring to you guys. And as a help to you, if you hit that smash button and if you hit that sub button, hit the notification bell so that way you know when my videos drop. Because as we all know, my videos tend to drop at weird times, usually 2, 3 a.m. So, you know, at least when you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, snap, Joey Bag's got a video out. Let me watch that. You know, let me go hit that smash button while I'm watching. So hit that notification bell too, so that way you know when my videos go live. Also, so you'll know when I live stream. And hopefully future live streams won't get knocked off the way my last one did, unfortunately. But like I was saying, you guys are awesome. You guys are all amazing. For my viewers in the US, East Coast, West Coast, in the Midwest, you guys are all awesome. For my viewers in Japan, you guys are amazing. My viewers in the Middle East, you guys are amazing as well. For my people in Europe, my people, in France, for all of you around the world, thank you so much. You're all amazing. And with that, I'm going to catch ya. Let's get this going so I can. There we go. I'm going to catch ya on the next video. Peace.